What is up, guys? Back in today with another reaction to Medalist, this time with episode 3. Another great episode last week. Met a few new characters as well with a few of the kids. Again, I forget the name, so apologies. But rude little blonde kid especially stood out, as well as again, I don't remember her name, but the amazing ice skater. I love the scenes with her and Inori. I think her name's Inori. At the end of last week's episode, thought that was fantastic, and yeah, looking forward to picking up where we left off today. We did end up getting the first badge as well, which was awesome to see. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this one in the comment section. Leave a like on the video if you guys had like, and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep up to date. I've only got a year. Kind of sucks. I guess that would actually make you work a bit harder though. Get told you have 10 years versus 1 year. I think you're obviously going to put a lot more effort in that 1 year. And maybe you would a couple years if you had 10 years. I've always been very interested in the psychology of sports, to be honest with you, and athletes. Going out to win. Love to see that. But yeah, very I imagine there's quite the disparity between the A level and her level, whatever she'll be entering here. But again, as I just mentioned, I've always been really interested in this is a sport. Like there's no, I don't think there's any contention that ice skating is not a sport. It may not be quite as much of a strain as perhaps like a marathon runner or something like that. Obviously, that's like an extreme example, but there's things these guys do with their body and such that you can't even dream of. Their balance and such as, yeah. So I'll be interested to see what kind of mental problems and such these guys face, because it's an area I haven't actually looked into too much. But I've always found like one of the biggest things in competing at the top level of anything is like a level of confidence that almost kind of borders on arrogance, and just like supreme kind of confidence that you are the best and you can win, and maybe everyone else is lower than you. Maybe that's what we saw a little bit from the blonde guy last episode. Not even worth looking at these little ants down there, because yeah, he's got that arrogance, and sometimes you need that to be kind of good and to like reach the top level of anything, but especially like sports. Like I can personally attest to that as well. Like when I've felt less confident, I've done worse. That guy's got some crazy hair. But yeah, I once done a study on once done a case study on the effects of like placebos and certain motivations and such on like the outcome of events like sprinting and such, for example. Was one of the tests I done, and the results were really interesting. I didn't realize just how much your mind affects your athleticism and so on. Okay, That was one of the things I brought up last week about being a giant hurdle, surely, being able to jump and land well. I think that would take me ages to learn. That as well. That's something I've always been interested in with actors. The fact that these guys are able to memorize their lines so well. It's kind of similar in remembering dance moves, which I would also be quite bad at. I think, again, I would just suck at this. Absolutely. Looking like a pro. Well, you will be soon. Pressure, stuff like that again. It all affects you. Again, the subtitle was a bit. Apologies, pause for a sec, but subtitles were really. I think I did actually look up some talk about the first couple episodes, and it seems like I'm not the only one that's noticed this. Yeah, the subtitles just like so annoying when, again, I don't fully understand Japanese, but when you can hear something being said and you recognize it, and it's just like it's exactly not what's being said on the subtitles. It's quite annoying. I mean, the subtitles get the general gist of things across, but honestly, that's my only negative about this show so far. To be honest with you guys, the fact that I'm maybe missing stuff just because I'm hearing stuff that I'm hearing's wrong. But what about the stuff that I don't recognize? The words that I don't recognize, how much of that stuff is like not accurate? I know in like dub and such, they try and do the best to kind of keep the to try and keep what's being said, but they do inevitably change some things and change the vibe of some things. So it's just a bit annoying, to be honest with you. Again, that's, yeah. Apologies. Just getting on my nerves a little bit. $40. Jesus, this girl. This is actually a bit of a nightmare. But they kind of both actually seem like a bit of a nightmare. Okay, that's that little gremlin. He also kind of looked a bit like an Inori. I kind of thought that was her for a minute. Um, when we first saw her. The tranquility. They really do look like they could be sisters. Look at them. I love her voice actor. So I like a lot of the voice actors in this show, but yeah, there's the two little girls here. I love both their voice actors. 23 days. Not the best thing to be compared to. I do kind of agree a little bit with that sentiment. I think she's wrong in what she's saying there, but I think there is a bit of that where you've got to kind of figure things out on your own and truly understand, and yeah, not just be instructed. You need to be a little bit flexible when things do go wrong. If she messes up a bit of a routine, for example, what do you do after that? You can't really get back on track. You'll have to try and like freestyle. Okay, I like this girl. She's got a bit of fire to her, hasn't she? And I do kind of agree with her. I mean, she's saying it quite harshly, of course, but I do kind of agree with what she's saying. As I said a minute ago, you need to be flexible. You need to also delve into things yourself. You can get coached and buy your way up to a certain point, but in the end, it's going to have to be you and just you that kind of. I mean, I know they work with a partner, but it's got to be like just you that kind of succeeds. No one's going to be there to help her when she's in the competition. I wouldn't exactly call that fair, but that's just how things work, isn't it? That'll be a cake without the strawberry. Yeah. To be honest, with those types of cakes, I mean, I love fruit. I love fruit by itself. I prefer the rest of it, honestly. Exactly. With their dumb opinions. Does it actually say dumb opinions? Didn't. And this is the kind of confidence you also need to kind of boost you into making these decisions. Like knowing that whatever choice you make doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, you're going to perfect either one. He's such a good teacher, isn't he? From what we're seeing these first 3 episodes. Yeah, I think that's the right choice, honestly. That's the thing. Have we ever actually like put on some music for her to like dance to, like oh, rhythmically or anything? No, there's always going to be a few falls, isn't there? Make it Mama. I like that name for her. Oh my god, really? Training is that not fucking? That should be illegal, right? Train kids till 4 in the morning. I mean, I don't. Is there any laws against that? Maybe under something, but I don't know. That seems a bit yeah. Well, it seems like it should be illegal. Which you probably it's obviously consented to training. Don't get me wrong, but that's a ridiculous amount of effort for a child to put into something, right? Practicing until 4 in the morning. No, it's not. But I was gonna say a minute ago, those two seem so hung up on winning. I mean, I know Inori wants to win as well, but everybody wants to win. There's so many competitors. The likelihood is already like. I've missed a few bits of dialogue, so I'll just rewind. But yeah, everybody that competes wants to win. It's like you've got to get some value out of this that doesn't come from winning as well. You've got to make this like a learning process and so on and so forth. These guys seem, again, especially this trainer, she seems so obsessed with wanting her to win, which again makes sense. You want to see your student happy, but in most of the cases you don't. So what happens when that? Are you going to be able to bounce back? Are you going to be able to take something away from your performance that you can work on? I mean, you've worked so hard on the spin the whole time. Imagine you fail it. That would dent your confidence massively. So I feel like they've gone for the risky approach, these guys. Not sure how it's going to play out for them. I do like to see a bit of this competitiveness though between these two. Well, say between these two, it's very much one-sided. So he would have gone for the other. I guess it makes sense. Again, you don't get anywhere without taking chances. Again, especially you don't get to the top level without taking chances. Breaking boundaries. Oh no. A loose dog. Oh, of course. The poster just so happens to be right there. Damn, he's better at the spins than Inori. Be careful not to get whipped by that leash, by the way. That would hurt like hell. You sound like Mr. X from Resident Evil for a second there. just absolutely pacing his way towards you. Oh, that was smooth. Man, she's in. Yeah, she's an incredibly quick learner, isn't she? If we, yeah, jump into spin. I don't know why. Things are just going a bit too well, if you know what I'm saying. Especially for a first competition. I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but for me, when I was just like, when I start out things, like especially in like pressure, when it actually gets down to like big pressure and like it's a tournament or there's like actual big stakes on the line, I feel like I thrive nowadays with that stuff. But when I was like starting, it was like she's never had a massive amount of pressure put on her in Ori. She's never been had everyone look at her and the spotlight on her, everyone watching even better skaters competing at much higher levels, watching her. It's just a totally different game. So as much as he said it's like it's 90%, and even the other group that was the new girl that we saw, I forget her name, so apologies. I'm just going to call her Nori's sister. Yeah, Nori's sister. Even their group were like, they were like, she can do it 9 out of 10 times. Can she do it 9 out of 10 times in the situation of it being in a competition? Who knows? But yeah, again, I've got a slightly, like, don't get me wrong, I've got great vibes, but I've got a bit slightly bad vibe that things are going too well. It looks like we've got a pigeon girl as well. So we've got a worm girl, we've got a cat girl, and then we've got a pigeon girl to come at some point. Yeah, I think it's just going a bit too well. Emily Walton is the one translating this issue. Okay. Again, I say that. no shade or anything, because I imagine what's happened is the subtitles again are just the complete subtitles of the English dub version of the show. So yeah, no shade there whatsoever. But again, it just stand out a little bit. The subtitles are a bit dodgy. I almost think it might be worth watching without subtitles sometimes. I wouldn't be able to understand quite a bit of it, but yeah, it keeps annoying me a little bit, and it's really annoying because it's not part of the show. Like it's no, yeah, there's not really much I can do about it, and obviously the show can't do anything about it. So apologies, I keep bringing it up. I'll try to not bring it up, but yeah, just it does get on my nerves a little bit. But yeah, great episode yet again today. Lots of really awesome figure skating going on in this episode, lots of learning. Especially enjoyed the addition of this new cat girl, Inori's new little sister. I hope she might end up being, I hope we do see quite a bit of her as we go forward, as she is a super fun character, isn't she? And again, really like her voice actress alongside pretty much all of the cast. But yeah, another great episode. Again, looking forward to it, but slightly apprehensive because again, I mentioned this earlier, if things do go wrong during this performance, especially for like your first performance, I think if it goes well, that can give you that can make her learn even faster. That can do wonders for her confidence. What happens if she does fall and she does like lose track, and because she didn't get to learn a little bit by herself, if one part of her routine goes wrong and that just screws it up, where does she like go from there? Is she just gonna like run off and cry? I imagine the other girl, the cat girl, would probably be more likely to maybe try and freestyle the rest of her performance if it did come down to it. Again, probably a very unlikely situation perhaps, but yeah, just really hoping that doesn't happen, because that can massively affect her confidence, and therefore just like the graph of it, if she does well in the competition, she doesn't have to win, but if she does well in the competition, the graph's like slightly going up, and it'll go up at an even higher rate. But if she does fail, I think it might just like kind of flatline a little bit, and just yeah, it would absolutely suck to see as well for us as viewers. But yeah, do let me know what you guys think about this episode down in the comment section. Again, another fantastic episode, absolutely loving the show so far. Leave a like on the video if you guys did like, and subscribe to the channel if you do want to keep up to date with these reactions, and I'll see you guys next week with episode 4.